you've come to the right place. We are going to try in less than 10 minutes to explain how to make the best resume you've ever created in your life. And above all, make sure that the person who receives it, usually someone from human resources, doesn't get bored with irrelevant information that they don't want to read at that moment. Today, I'm going to teach you how to make an impact. Speaking of impact, you probably got one yourself from that intro. Alright, today I'm going to try to make a very concise video. We're going to try to significantly enhance and upgrade your resume by more than 25%. First, we'll lay out all of the fundamental basics, which we have right here. Now I'm going to break each of them down for you, and then I'll show you a specific AI prompt that, no matter what your resume looks like right now, will help you improve it, especially to create a powerful impact. That's why I made this video. I want you to understand right from the start that your resume will always be you. So we'll lay down some neuromarketing foundations so that once you've taken the first step and your resume has been chosen, you'll be the one selected among all the candidates. If this video gets a lot of support, I'll make a completely separate version for LinkedIn, so now's your chance to hit that like button. And nevertheless, before we start, I also have to make a living, so here's a short 1-minute Windows ad. Now I'm going to try to do this exact same thing with you. And for that, let's start with the absolute basics. How to craft a truly professional resume, how to structure it properly, what specific areas we should emphasize, and what actually gets the most attention, because it's not always just your work experience or all the various degrees you have. To begin with, as you can see in the structure, I'm going to turn off my camera so you can see everything as it is. To start off, a header with your complete identity, including a very professional looking photo of yourself. Don't use a picture of you with a friend from 2019. Use the most serious looking photo possible, and if you want, I can give you a prompt so that a regular photo can be turned into a professional one. And if you don't have one, don't worry, we'll make one in a second. This is a photo I just took right now. Alright, you're going to go to ChatGPT, copy this prompt and upload the photo. And then you click done. In the end, ChatGPT is completely free. I'll leave the prompt for you down below in the description. And that's it, done. Now we have a much more professional photo to put on our resume profile. In the end, it also really depends on which sector you're in. Wearing a suit and tie makes sense for some resumes and not for others. We could look for a less informal prompt, so let me know in the comments if you'd like a different kind of prompt depending on your job. Alright, let's get back to the organized and optimized structure for your resume. First of all, the header. Your photo, as we've said, can be changed. The most important thing is that when someone opens it, the first thing a human will do is look at your face. Always neuromarketing level 1. It's always the first thing they want to know about you. Name, face, age, and where you're from. Not much more than that. Just quick identification. Then, step 2. It's very important to highlight exactly who you are as a person. Even if you don't believe it for just a damn few minutes. And in this professional title is where we're going to showcase our value proposition. There is a wide range of words you can use to describe what you have done up to now, without having to say worker or I have worked, or any of that repetitive crap they have already read 50 times. But under no circumstances should you go in with the premise of I'm looking for a job. You're not looking for them, they're looking for you. And we continue with section 3. This is exactly where you are going to include your professional pitch, where you're going to truly sell your results, not just a list of tasks, okay? The person reading this is another human being, and they are likely completely exhausted from reading resumes that are always structured and written in the same repetitive format. Rule number 4, very important, action plus metric equals result. You could say social media management like anyone else, or you could make an impact by saying I increased engagement by 120% in 6 months through content strategy and automation. As long as you strive to be completely honest, make sure that everything you say can be backed up by solid facts. But there are a wide variety of different ways to say it, without sounding like just another ordinary person. 5. Education. There's not much I can say about this section that you don't already know. Here, more or less, you'll always have to put something very similar, as will everyone else. But the most essential points that make a real difference are that the resume should be no longer than 2 pages. And if it does indeed go to 2, make sure you utilize that space to the very fullest. A clean and professional visual design, without long paragraphs or ones that are difficult or tedious to read, always focused on achieving results rather than just listing duties, and specifically tailored to each individual job posting. This is exactly what makes it work so effectively. Because even if you do the same job, applying to one company is not the same as applying to another, since each company's unique needs are never quite the same. And in the end, you have to be like a salesperson, who has to show that you are going to provide the solution to what they are looking for. You're basically saying, doing, and writing exactly what they are hoping to read and hear. In section 6, we would have your abilities and skills, all those particular areas of learning that you are good at. Don't fill it up with 20 or 15 things. It's better to list a total of 5 or 6 where you can truly stand out or make a distinct difference compared to others, which is the main reason why they should choose you for the position. I would add the most important section of the entire resume, which is achievements and projects. What does that mean? It means a section that almost nobody includes, but it's very important and adds a lot of value when it comes to being chosen or moving to the next stage, since many resumes go through several phases of pre-selection that you have to pass. This section absolutely must be there always. Set yourself apart with achievements and projects no matter the field in which you have developed yourself. For example, let's say you work as a cleaner in a building. What achievements are you going to list there? Well, it can be as simple as saying, when I joined my team, there were 6 workers, and thanks to my efforts, we managed to do the work with just 4. You're already giving a clear indication that you perform your duties exceptionally well. And you're also showing the person reading it that you can significantly help lower the overall cost for the company. For them, you represent a highly positive return on investment, an immense added value, and a positive value expectation, an action that, in the long run, is consistently and remarkably beneficial. So yes, it is definitely very important to include that right there. And I gave you this specific example so you can see exactly how you can turn it around and apply it to absolutely anything you have done so far. And then carefully document it using this kind of structured resume. That's about it. We have the language section. List your languages and never lie about them. The final part, which is an extra that's also interesting, covers certifications, publications, awards, availability, and your driver's license. If you want to indicate availability, stating you're available 24/7 will be taken more seriously than if you write that you're available Monday to Thursday afternoons or Monday to Friday mornings and some afternoons. That's what everyone puts. Don't do it. Alright, at this point we know how to structure it, you know the options I've given you, so now let's move on to the next part. I'm going to show you a random resume. Dib. It's entirely fake. I mean, it was created with AI, it's a resume that does not belong to a real person, and it would look like this in simple plain text. Speaking from my own extensive personal experience, I have had to read through and assess a significant number of different resumes to hire new people. And I can honestly tell you that this would seem very boring to me, completely regardless of the specific content it contains. And maybe it is very good, but the structure is not. And it does not get off to a very good beginning. Let's work together to improve this resume, and I'll show you exactly how to do that in just a second. And with that, I'll also show you several professional templates that you can use for free to make your own resume. And we'll have 2 different options for you. The first one will be available on this specific website, and the second will be directly with my custom prompt. Both of these are completely free of charge, so you won't have to spend a single euro of your own money. So, let's go with the first one. We'll import our resume, the one you have made right now. In this case, I'm importing icers from this supposed person who gave us this resume. So you'll see that it's actually quite easy to do. Basically, the first thing it does is analyze the contents of this resume. We're going to simply click continue. In your case, it would be your own resume. Just check that everything is correct, and where it says add photo, you'll add the photo I showed you earlier. You'll check that everything is correct once more and then click next, okay? You click next, and then, as you can see over here on the left-hand side, we can see how this resume is being broken down into sections. You'll see, what I want to show you here is that without touching a single line, because I'm not going to change anything at all, you'll see how it completely restructures it in a totally different way. And that's exactly what you're looking for, that in just 5 minutes you can update your resume so it has a much higher CTR, and you can land the job because they see that your resume is more valuable than someone else's. And maybe the other person is much better than you, of course, no one is denying that, but yours catches their eye more, and in the end, it's a human being evaluating you. As long as you have precisely what they're looking for, you can always beat the competition. Your unique qualities can truly make a difference in the final decision. But if you add your neuromarketing, which we're applying in this video, you're a clear winner. So we click next. Now we see the titles and information, and everything here is correct. Moving to the skills section, if you want to add any new skill at this point, you can easily add it. I've already told you that I'm not going to touch this specific resume. It's just so you can see how, without doing anything at all, and without making any manual edits, you'll see exactly how much you can change it. We click next again, and once it's completely finished, here we have the profile for Iker Martinez. Perfect. We would have all the information structured in a way that's much more different than how we had it before. If you look at this part of the PDF, you can see how it would be as a deliverable. Very boring, very flat. And here, of course, we could add various different templates, where our information would appear perfectly the same but in several distinct formats. And that's really up to you. I'll leave it to you to set it up however you like. Also, depending on the type of resume you're going to use, you could choose one template or another. And in the end, you would simply have to click right down here on Save and Next. There is really no mystery at all regarding how you can enhance your resume in just 5 seconds, without even having to touch a single line of your damn resume. But now let's get to the interesting part. By the way, yes, I'll leave the link to that website down below in the description. Now let's move on to the prompt I've designed for you to improve your resume by more than 20%. And what we're going to do is the following. We're going to go to ChatGPT, which is completely free, and we're going to copy this prompt. You don't need to worry at all because you'll be able to find it right here in the description, just at the very bottom. Don't hit enter yet because you'll need to make a few necessary adjustments first. For example, regarding your level of experience, let's put mid-level professional for now, okay? We can remove this specific part and then each person should put the exact one that, the one they have, okay? For the target industry role, we're going to specify the exact job position you are targeting, and then right here we would paste our entire resume, which we're going to attach in this prompt. So now, all that's left is to simply hit enter and let the system generate this new resume with this new prompt, which is designed to completely change and improve what we had up until now. Alright, this is very important. First, it's going to point out our mistakes. You need to read this carefully because it's talking about your resume. So the comprehensive and critical analysis of your CV will be the one that, as I mentioned, here it gives us our example, and the optimized rewritten version is what you said but articulated in a significantly different manner, in a way that leaves a lasting and powerful impression on the person who is going to receive it. So here you could copy and paste your own PDF and change or modify it, or if you would prefer to save some time and effort, you can just tell it to create the reformulated PDF for you. So you would simply need to download it. And now we would have it with the information that interests us. And now, no, we wouldn't submit this resume as is. We would process the entire thing through the website I previously mentioned right here on the screen. And we could officially submit the application in a way that's significantly more impactful, much more attractive, and you get 2 incredible benefits in one. First, you restructure and optimize your resume using ChatGPT, using my prompt, and then you incorporate a professional visual layer, which would be right here on this platform that I've linked for you down below in the description. Alright, at this point we already know, for example, something as simple as changing our photo with the prompt I've provided here so you can have a professional one just by taking a picture at home with your phone. Very easy. We've explored some of the fundamental concepts about what it takes to have an impactful resume, as well as other ways to customize and refine your document using free templates along with the prompt, so you can also rephrase the text to convey your professional experience in a slightly different way. And in the end, I really want you to understand that whether they choose you or Manolito or Manolita or even someone else doesn't just depend on having a good resume, because as I mentioned at the beginning, there are usually several different stages of pre-selection. It's very important how you present yourself, especially when you go to that meeting or personal interview or whatever you want to call it, because a resume alone is simply not enough to get the job. In many different instances, there will be situations where you might be chosen as a candidate and have to go through an interview. In that interview, they will gain a much deeper understanding about you from your answers than just the specific things they are asking. I'm not just going to tell you that you need to be a confident person like any other career coach would say, but rather that you should see yourself as the exact product they want. And by that, I mean you should focus on saying exactly what they want to hear. Now, this certainly does not mean that you ever have to lie. But you should always refine and optimize your answers by considering how the other person truly wants to receive what you're telling them. If you are someone who contributes an incredible amount of value because, I don't know, you possess a great skill or you're really exceptional at what you do, remember that they are still a business-oriented company and the person hiring you wants to ensure they are making excellent signings. Make them feel absolutely confident that they're making a truly great hire with you. And in this way, you'll also keep moving up within the company. We could discuss these fascinating topics for a long time, but I think it's best to conclude this particular video here with this precise information and extend it if necessary if I see strong interest and support for a second phase, where we would continue discussing neuromarketing and further improving, in this case, a LinkedIn profile, something much more professional. That said, if you enjoyed the video, I would appreciate it if you subscribe to the channel. I'm signing off. See you in the next video. I am Dotam. Bye bye.